because of the meeting started. Okay, but still we are all using TCP IP protocols. Remember, so what we are using is important, not what is there. What is there? What we are using, that is important. Okay, so we are using TCP IP protocols. Okay, protocol suite, like the way of you are communicating from one device to another device, or you're accessing a web application or a website, or you are accessing mail, you're doing mail communication. So whatsoever it is, we are all using TCP IP protocol suite, and we are all using star topologies. Okay, we don't use ring topology, bus topology, mesh topology. In a general using, we don't use mesh topology. Also, we use star topology. Mesh topology only used in certain places like a servers, like a high-end places where more redundancy is required. That places only we use mesh topologies or a mesh plus star topologies kind of stuff. But here it is, we are generally using star topologies. And when we, one day I went to a place like that is, they asked for a demo. It's a overall demo. So which topic also, there is no specific topic. They call all old batches, previous batches, new batches and all. Every batch having a different set of knowledge. So I started covering a lot of subjects. So when I am telling about this IP addresses part, then one guy is pointed out, means after class, the next day one guy said, sir, I find some issues. You're telling about IP addresses, but as per the norms, you have to tell about IPX, SPX, Apple Talk, novel network, all these things you have to tell, then I come to IP address. The point is, we don't use any other things. Already I told, we use TCP IP protocol cert, we use the IP addresses. IPv4 or IPv6. Nowadays, both are using, okay, IPv4 and IPv6, both are we are using. Okay, mostly IPv4. Mostly worldwide, globally, communication is IPv4 only. Only certain countries or certain sectors, certain network service providers use IPv6. Not everyone. Okay, so we are using IP address model only. In that one also IPv4 mainly. Secondarily, it is IPv6. I mean IPv6 in only in certain part, but globally IPv4 we are using. Okay, mostly we are using IPv4. Okay, guys. So here it is. What we are using, I told just normally. Okay, next our class is first is IP address part. Okay, so IP address is a logical address. MAC address is a physical address. IP address is a logical address. Why logical address? It depends upon your network. You have a network, you have a 10 computers in your network. So you use a one kind of IP address. In another network, they use some different kind of network. So depends upon your network, what kind of IP address you are using, what kind of class of IP address you are using, you should use it. Okay. So IP address, using IP address, we can create logical network also. Okay, it is a logical networking. I'll tell. So guys, look at here. This is, I have a PCs. Yeah, usually I put a 2, 4, 5 PCs only, but I am putting more PCs just for our understanding. Okay, so this is the star topology or any topology, take it, no problem. But PCs are connected. All are in a physically same network. First of all, what is the network? Connection of two or more devices called a network. Now network is created. Okay, physically all devices are same network only, but I put a different IP address bit, means I want to divide this physical network into two logical networks. I can divide it. How can I divide? Using IP address network related part. Okay, so I will come to that point. So to communicate one PC to another PCs, we need an IP address, and those IP addresses must be in the same network, same logical network. That we can understand later, but try to understand normally. Okay, so we are sending each PC an IP address. Based on the IP address, PCs will communicate each other, so they can easily address. Like PC1 want to communicate it to PC2. So how to address it? PC2's IP address only. Okay. So one device to another device communication based on their IP addresses only. Okay. Next one is these IP addresses are logical, means if I follow one sequence of IP address, so I have to follow for all the PCs in the network. If I don't follow, it become different network. Okay. So that point I said no, I will tell you. So what is an IP address? IP address is a logical address. IP address is a uniquely identified device in the network. 2 points are there. So what is an IP address? IP address is uniquely identify a device in the network. So you want to identify a device in the network, not identify the device. Identify the device in the network. So don't cut the sentences, guys. If you cut the sentence, meaning will change. Okay. So to identify the device, to uniquely identify the device in the network. So each device having an IP address. Okay. So for their identification. For example, you have a roll numbers are there. Your batch is N2, right? So your batch is N2. For us, me, it is N2. I put a N2 01. I start giving roll numbers like a 202, 203, 204, like this. So what is this meaning? This is the roll number, first person, second person, third person, fourth person, fifth person, like that. But this is the common, right? For example, I put a 301, 302. What is this meaning? This is third batch. This is second batch based on my understanding, right? Okay, both are separate batches. Both are separate batches. So that's very simple to understand. So in the same classroom, all are having a same address, but every person having individually different numbers. Like you take hotels, apartments, and therefore the single floor, in one floor, their floor number is same. The floor number is same, like a 101, 102, 103. For example, my home, it is 10004. It is a 10004. Means it's a 10th floor, 4th door. Okay, door number is 4, but floor number is 10. 10005, 10006, 7001, 701, 702, 703, 704. It's a 7th floor. Door number is different. So to understand this IP address part and network and host part, the host part is different and network part is always same in the same network. See, this part is changing, but this part is constant. Okay, so that's why it is called as a uniquely identified device in the network. Your IP address is like that. There is some constant part and there is a host part, means changeable part, assigning part. And lot of people, when I said like IP address is a uniquely identified device in the network. So at the time of interview or at the mock interviews or any time, what is an IP address? It's unique address. No. Okay. Don't say like that off of answers. Okay. So IP address is a not unique address, guys. MAC address is unique address and IP address is not unique address. It is uniquely identified device in the network. That is the part. So you can change the IP address can be changeable and required to change according to the network. For example, I am here, I am getting an IP address based on this router or a DHCP server. Based on this network what configure, I got that IP address. If I go to my hometown and I connect it to that network, so I will get that network related IP address. Okay, so IP address is changeable when you change the network automatically. Okay. Okay, so these are about
Sir,
IP.
sir,
Yes, sir.
IP address will not be unique in LAN, right?
IP address is not at all unique. It's not a unique address.
In the same network, no two PC can have same IP address, right, sir?
No, no, no.
Okay.
In same network, that's actually main point is in the same network means network part means like this certain part is there, depends upon classes, that is we will see, but network part is same, host part is different. Otherwise what happened? I will tell my story. My roll number is 402 in my college. I'm a lateral entry candidate. So then I got 402 and there is another person is like a 401, 402, 403. Okay. There is a lot of people are there. Again, for our lateral entry people means people join in a second year directly with a diploma. So we'll get a same like 401, 402, 403. Because sessions are different of all them that time and also they'll write properly. Which year they joined like that. So it's lateral entry separately they write. But in the last of college, like a third year, second semester, fourth year time, so they are combined all the things. Now what happened? If I present, if I present, he got a present. If I absent, he got absent. And we conduct one, they conduct some internal exam. So if you don't write internal exam, one paper, 25 rupees fine. This guy didn't write two examinations. I paid 50 rupees fine. Okay. So what is this called? Conflict. Actually, that is a very good question, guys. It is if you assign a same IP address to all the PCs in the network or more than one PC in the network, conflict will be generated. Conflict will be generated. So it will be confused. Okay. So when conflicted, for example, you can see it is 404, 404 conflict. 404 and 404 are conflict. So what happened? These two devices cannot communicate with other devices or other devices don't communicate with these two devices and these two devices cannot be communicate each other also. Okay, so because there is a confusion there, so that is called a conflict. So two devices having same IP addresses in the same logical network in same physical network and in the same network in a same physical network, two PCs are having two devices having same IP address, it generates a conflict. Okay, very good. Good question. IP address and MAC address. IP address is a logical address, MAC address is physical address. IP address is changeable according to the network. We can able to change it, or which is your wish to what IP address you want to put it. Whether you will communicate or not, that is a secondary. IP address, we can give the IP address from DHCP server, or we will get an IP address from DHCP server, or manually we can assign a IP address. But in MAC address is not like that. MAC address is assigned by manufacturer of NIC and it is cannot be changeable. In IP addresses, we have a private and public type of IP addresses, but MAC address, no private, no public. Okay. Hello. So IP address used for communication, like you want to communicate it to any device, we need an IP address. We use an IP address to communicate, but we don't use a MAC address to communicate. We use MAC address is there in a communication. MAC address will be involved in the communication from one PC to another PC, but we are not communicating with using of IP address. Means with IP address we are communicating, with MAC address we are not communicating. So A to B communication. A PC want to communicate B. So A PC use B's IP address. Okay. So it communicate with the B's IP address and not with the base MAC address. Okay, all communications by IP address. IP address two types, IPv4 and IPv6. IPv4 is 32-bit, IPv6 is 128-bit, and a MAC address is stable always. It is a 648-bit and represented in hexadecimal format. This is also one question, guys. What is the difference between IP address and MAC address? What is IP address? What is MAC address? Next one is in IP addresses, we have two types already told, two versions, two types, not two types, two versions. IPv4, IPv6. V means version 4, version 6. Okay. IPv4 32-bit, 2 to the power of 32, 4.3 billion IP addresses you are getting. Okay. IPv4 represented in decimal format. Example of IPv4 is 192.168.1.101. IPv4 is a 32-bit, and this 32-bit total binary number is divided into 4 parts, and which is separated with a dot. Okay, so if you divide a 32-bit into 4 parts, each part is 8 bits. That we call it as each part we call it as octet, because it contains 8 bits. We call that one, each part is octet. So which is separated with a dot. There is a 4 octets: first octet, second octet, third octet, fourth octet. Each octet size is 2 to the power of 8 is a 256. So that is from 0 to 255, guys. 0 to 5 is 6. 1 to 5 is 5. 0 to 5 is 6 numbers. Okay, like that, 0 to 255 in each octet. So the first one is called a first octet, second one is called a second octet, third one is we call it as a third octet, fourth one is called a fourth octet. And some people write to make it more easy to understand the first octet as a W, next one as a X, Y, Z, like that. Okay, for easy to write purpose, you can use any technique. Important is you should understand and use. Okay, so each octet size is from 0 to 255, not more than 255. In one octet, if you have a number more than 255, like a 300, 400, it is invalid IP address. It is invalid IP address. Okay, 0.0.0.0 is the starting IP address, and it is like a numbering system. It will generate 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of stuff, like a 0.0.0.0, then 0.0.0.1, 0.0.2, 0.0.3, 4, 5, like that, up to go to 0.0.0 to 54, and then to 0.0.0 255. That is the last in that sequence. Okay, then it will be changed like 0.0.1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.254, 1.255. Then it becomes 2.0, and it continues. Okay, and it is continuous like that. So finally it will like this. Last IP address is 255.255.255.255. Okay, any one of octet is anyone we can take octet. It must be 0 to 255 only, not more than 255. The total range of IPv4 is 0.0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255. Okay, so this is the total range of IP addresses. Of course, there is a little complex topic also came now. This is I'm continuously telling about IPv4, then I will tell about IPv6. Okay, guys, each and every PC, each PC having an IP address in the network, right? For example, you have taken a PCs APC, BPC, CPC, DPC, EPC. Five PCs are there. Each PC having a IP address. Example, APC 192.168.1.101, 1.102, 103, 104, and no, 103 to 123, 137 is a respect to IP addresses. Okay, but all commonly, all PCs, but itself they have a loopback or a local host IP address is there. Okay, itself. Like for example, you have a PC. PC name is A. You have another PC. PC name is B. CPC, DPC, EPC. But common name for all PCs for itself. Like I'm telling myself, itself. Okay, like that. It is a local host. Name of the host is name of the computer is local host, irrespective of what name you are giving. Okay, it is called a local host. The local host IP address is 127.0.0.1. It is called a local host or loopback IP address. We use 127.0.0.1 for testing, self-testing purpose. Use this IP address for a self-testing purpose. And of course, for example, I installed a Oracle 21C Express Edition in my laptop. Now I want to access from my laptop. Where is application or where is the service related in your PC, and you want to access from your PC. So you don't require like you want to access with the network resources. You don't require an IP address to the PC. Okay, what is the thing? So you can access the service using a name, local host, or a 127.0.0.1. Okay, so that is a local host IP address. So every PC has its self a local host, and that IP address is 127.0.0.1. And if you ping to 127.0.0.1, it is like a self-testing. You have a web browser in your PC and you want to access that web browser, you can use http://localhost or 127.0.0.1. Okay, any network base, not every, but generally. Another type of IP address is 0.0.0. It is unknown IP address and also used for DHCP DORA process default routing. So we use this address 0.0.0.0. Guys, in IPv4 we have a unicast, multicast, and broadcast kind of IP addresses are there. Okay, yeah. IP addresses, IPv4 is divided into the 5 classes. Why 5 classes? If you see the IP addresses from 0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255. If you take that one as a single network, what happened? That is not enough of IP addresses. We cannot manage IP address much better. So why? Because of so 4.3 billion IP addresses. That is a very big number. But if you calculate the population, India alone 1.4. All people, right? At least one computer per person. It is more than 100, 130. process. Sorry, the number of IP addresses are become less. So we use different techniques to save. Okay, so that is different point, guys. Again, anyway, IP addresses divided into total IP address range is divided into 5 classes, and the IP classes, to identify the which class it is. Okay, we divide a classes based on the first octet of the IP address. We divide the classes from first octet of like a 0 to 255. That octet model says 0 to 255 based on first octet of IP address. Class A 0 to 127. In certain textbook it is 1 to 126, but there is a reason why, because 0.0.0.0 is a reserved IP address and used for certain services, not for our regular usage. Okay, next one is entire 0 series. We should not use it. That is also stop. 127.0.0.1 reversible. It is also reserved IP address for localhost, loopback address for self-test, self-support. 127.0.127. Series. So it is not available. Okay. So these are that's why like a 0 series and 127 series we are no longer using. So obviously 1 to 126 is showing, but original range is 0 to 127. Okay. Class B is 128 to 191. Class C 192 to 223. Class D 224 to 230. And Class C 240 to 255. Okay, out of that one, Class C is R&D type, means research type only we there are using. Okay. Another Class D is a multicast addressing. Of course, we don't require. Okay. What is this multicast addressing? It is also an IP address, but not we cannot assign to your adapters. That IP address we cannot assign to adapters, kind of stuff. It's a multicast addressing. I have mind again started already. Afternoon effect. So class D is a multicast address. It is used by those IP addresses used by different type of services. Okay, based on certain services, like you want to deploy an application, you want to deploy an operating system, or like you want to deploy delivery. So then if you use, okay, that time we use multicast addressing for certain medical reasons. Okay guys, class A, class B, class C, class C 0 to 127, 128 to 191, 223 to 2 sorry 0 to 127, 198 to 191, 192 to 223, 224 to 239, and 240 to 255. So class A, class B, class C are unicast IP addresses. Class D is multicast address, type address, means it will send a message to multiple. Class C is redundancy. R&D. You can remove classes and you can identify which class it is. First one, if you take 120, 120 is in between this one or not. So class A. It's a class. Now what is the 151.200.80.2? Check the first octet, 151. 151. Check with the table for first time. 151, it is a B. And this is 197. 197, check the ranges, it is a class C. It's a multicast address, class D. This is class E, class B. Whatever it is showing in this side, that is the different point. What is it is showing here? Good. Then we can identify which class it is. This part and this part again I will tell. So don't worry. So guys, I talk about IPv4. Then what is about IPv6? Okay. Sample points only I tell. IPv6 128 bit. 2 to the power of 128 is 3.4 billion of IP address you are getting. So it's 3.4 into 10 to the power of 38. It represents in hexadecimal format. Each one single hexadecimal is equivalent to 4 bits binary. So 128 by 4, it is 32 hexadecimal. So your one single IP address, you have a 32 hexadecimals are there. Okay, so these 4 of hexadecimal numbers are called a block. Each block is divided by colon. So this entire 32 bit is converted into a block. So then it is become 8 point. Okay. So 8 blocks. You can write IPv6 in different ways, but there are certain rules. In an IPv6, instead of using 127.0.0.1, I use just a colon 1. Like instead of 00.0, so it is also 0 pattern. IPv6 is not divided into classes, but it divided into different ways. Like a link local global unicast addresses, link local global unicast address, multicast address, any other addresses. Guys, this is about your IPv4 and IPv6 basic differences and classes. But again, I will start from the classes, ranges, subnet mask, and other things also after small break.